Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to Dungeons and Breakfast is what I'm calling it now. That's just I've chosen a name and that's what it is. We're doing Curse of Strahd. This is the third episode of Curse of Strahd. Our friends are in trouble in this one. So let's see how they do with combat. I'll do a quick recap and we'll just get right into combat, right into where they left off. So, last time on the Curse of Strahd, your group had entered a house at the behest of a small girl that was standing outside in this strange misty valley that you find yourselves in. She had told you about some monster that was in the basement of their house. You entered and found nothing there. No people, no noises. You decided to explore the house for a while until you came up to the third floor. This house, which had been completely normal up until this point, suddenly began to change. It began to grow old and weary and aged. Cobwebs began springing up as the whole house transformed before you into an old, rotted building that has been here for who knows how long. You tried to go through one of the old, worn doors at the top of the stairs, not noticing the living armor that decided to take a swing at you as you tried to open the door. A axe came down on top of Lily, but just in time, she dodged out of the way. It splintered the wood right where she stood. And we're gonna start combat right there. Everybody, actually, I'll call you guys one at a time. I roll initiative, and then when I call you, just tell me what your initiative is, and I'll write it down in the initiative tracker. And we'll get some battle music. Yeah, there we go. All right, Lily, what's your initiative?
Ooh, 18.
18, nice. That'll be nice.
That'll be my one high roll of the game.
Yeah, that's a good high roll to have. Gwen.
Where is it?
It's
So,
Right next to your armor class, yep.
yeah, it's next to your AC.
It's next to your armor class, right next to the acrobat. There you go.
I got a 10.
Thank you, Schmoodle, and thank you, Levy, by the way. Thank you, guys, for the subs. I appreciate it. Fool, you thought you could get rid of you. How could I have thought so? Gwen, what's your initiative?
10.
10. Oof. I'm gonna roll. Ooh, he got a good initiative. Thurxora.
A 4.
A 4? Oh no.
Yeah, it's my D&D curse hitting again. I can guarantee you through the whole session I'm not gonna roll anything higher than a 5.
What'd you get, Botak?
18!
18, nice! Alright. He got a 15. He got a pretty good
Seriously,
roll.
Start doing what I started doing. Start rolling real dice, man, or use roll 20. That thing does not like us.
Who has a higher dex? What's your dex modifier,
I
Botak?
guarantee you that mine's 0.
What's yours, Lily?
My dex is +1.
You got a +1 dex. Okay, so you go first. And this armor will go right here. And there we go. All right, starting off the combat. Lily, you get an immediate, you get to fight back. You get to hit him.
Thank fuck for that. She is going very very, very angrily try and shocking grasp the bastard.
Okay, yeah. Go for it.
Well, that better hit, because that's a 19 and I have +5, so 24.
Hell yeah, that hits.
Shocking grasp is a D8. 4 damage, and he cannot take reactions until the start of his turn.
Okay, nice. That's
Which
a
means
good
that
start to combat.
I am gonna.
Which means you're yeeting out.
Back the fuck up. Did we ever get this door open? Where the fuck can I go?
We did not.
You started to open it, but you were
swiped
not
at me?
able to. You can try and open it. You can use a free 1 item per turn as a free action.
I would like to try and open this door, yes. Because I got nowhere else to go.
Okay. You can open the door. It's really hard to see where you're at right now. You would have to... You open the door, it's some kind of... Maybe a bedroom of some sort. You can see 2 doors to your right, but you would have to go further into the room to see what's in there.
Okay, I'm just gonna look at the others there. This might not exactly end well for me, but I also don't particularly want to be in the range of another strike, so she is gonna back up into this room
That music is loud.
to here,
Turn that music
and
down a
then
little bit.
take a look around.
Okay. Whoops. Let me do something real quick. Let me reveal the room for you real quick. It does indeed look to be a bedroom of some sort. You can't really make out the specific. You're in combat situation right now. You can see like a bed. You can see like a wardrobe. There's a fireplace in the
Don't worry
corner.
about
It's
if there's
old and
anything else
dusty and
living
cobwebby.
in here that's gonna hit her.
Nothing as of yet.
She can see.
Nothing at the moment.
Okay, she is gonna wait here. She doesn't want to go too far into the room. She's very aware that there are more doors connected to this room.
Right.
So
All right. Oops. The damage reset. What did you say you had for damage?
4.
4, you said?
Yes, 4.
Okay.
That is all she has. So she is just gonna hang back in this bedroom.
Okay.
I'm good.
Botak, you're up.
Taxi.
So, sorry, Levy. Yeah, we're
Chop down and we smack it. So
we're
take out his
we're
wall.
doing D&D right now.
Go
I didn't
for
want to
the
interrupt them.
kneecaps.
I hope you're having a good day though. Thank you for the sub.
Ooh, that's a 19.
Ooh, yep, that hits. Aw.
Ah, that's a 4 though.
You got 4 damage?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, anything else you want to do?
I want to stand here.
Oh gosh, nope, that's... Oh, I've got 2 musics going on. I've got to turn that off.
I'm just gonna stand over here. That way, in case anything else comes through the other doorways, I'm in the way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's it. All right. It's armor time. Armor is gonna bring up his great axe. And he's going to bring it down on you, Thrixora.
Oh fuck.
What's your AC?
10.
That's gonna hit you. And he's gonna do 4 bludgeoning damage to you. I mean, slicing damage. He's gonna do 4 slashing damage to you with his great axe as he brings it around after missing Lily, and Lily hitting it with a shocking grasp. It swings around its axe, swings it, and catches your arm just barely.
Ow!
And he's gonna take another swing. This time at Botak, who just hit him with his hammer.
Bring it on.
Or his mace, right? You have a mace?
Maul.
Maul, that's right. What's your AC?
16.
That's gonna miss. So, spinning his axe around this lifeless armor that just you just hear like the crinkling of the armor. There's no, you can't tell what's inside of it. It swings around, hits Thurxora, and just whiffs past you, Botak. Thankfully, your height leaves the axe wide as it swings over your head.
Oh, come on, I was going to carry it with my maul. It's so much cooler.
And that's going to be its turn. Gwyn, your turn.
Can I try and swing for the head?
Yes. Yes, you can. Make an attack roll.
Okay. Okay. Which one? Would it be under the weapon that I'm doing, or
Yeah, it's the weapon you're doing.
Yep.
I'm gonna do Warhammer? Is it the hit slash DC? Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
being
that's
dumb.
it.
Mm-hmm.
10.
You rolled a 10 to hit.
Yep.
That's going to miss,
Wait,
unfortunately.
hold on.
That's
hold on.
15.
It's
The
15
dice was
total.
a 10, but you have +5.
Ah,
Yeah,
15
look to the
then.
very far right.
Oh.
It will show
Ah, the pop-
everything.
The pop-up didn't show up for me.
Yeah, so
Okay.
15.
Okay,
Oh, I got
okay.
it, yeah. Yeah, no.
15. Unfortunately, that still misses. You swing your hammer around, conk, and it hits the armor, but you can't get enough leverage to actually make enough impact in this kind of tighter area without hitting your friends. And you can't get a wide enough swing to do much, and it kind of just clings against the armor. It doesn't seem to react.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want to do?
I suppose I would probably go towards blocking the door.
Hi,
Then
Ryzen.
went-
Go towards the door? Okay.
To block. Yeah.
Okay, so you're kind of standing in between Lily and the armor.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, actually, it would be Thurxora's turn.
Yeah.
What'd you do in Thurxora?
I think I'm first of all gonna try to get the fuck out of there.
It does have reactions back because it took its turn.
Oh fuck.
Oh, the reactions was till the end of its turn, right,
Yeah.
Lily?
Yeah, it's until the start of its next turn. So
Okay.
yeah, it's good.
So it does have reactions back. So in order, if you wanted to get away from it, you'd have to disengage. Or take the opportunity attack.
I will disengage because I don't think I have anything that can really hurt it at the moment.
Okay.
And I don't know, poking an empty suit of armor with a rapier doesn't sound like the smartest idea to do. So yeah. I'm gonna try to take a few steps back down the stairs and disengage.
You're gonna disengage and take a few steps down the stairs.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. He doesn't take a swing at you. All right, Lily.
So, working with. I could do that, but I don't want to be that close. So I'm gonna play it safe. And
Okay.
I'm gonna a motion to Gwen to kind of lean to the side a little bit. I know there's 5 foot of space, but you know, just to be safe. Because I'm gonna throw a firebolt at this guy's freaking armor.
All right, go for it.
17.
That just barely misses, unfortunately.
Oh, God damn it.
The fire whirs up in your hand and you throw it at the armor, just whizzing past Gwyn's head, and the fire bounces off of his helmet.
Damn it,
And
man.
he does not react.
Try
She's
aiming
fine.
lower.
Good idea. I'll aim for the groin next time. Should have aimed there in the first place. Well, there's little else I can do.
Okay, so that's your turn?
Yes, I am done.
All right, Botak.
Yeah, Botek's gonna try to wind up for a good smack against him, right in the chest, right for the gut.
All right.
Yeah. Ooh, darn, 17.
Oh, it just misses as well. You swing your maul, kunk, and you also can't seem to get enough leverage in this kind of tighter space where you are as Thurxora is running past you. You try and swing your maul as hard as you can, but you can't really get enough leverage, and it kind of clinks against its armor, and it doesn't react. Anything else you want to do?
That's all I can do for right now.
Okay. It's Big Boy's turn. He's gonna make an attack against Gwyn.
Sweet.
Ooh, that's a 22.
Oh no.
Ooh. He's gonna do 8 slashing damage to you, because he rolled maximum on his hit dice. He brings his axe around and slashes at you, Gwyn, hitting you square in the chest, just kind of tearing open your chest a little bit as this huge, massive battle axe is brought around his head with like an unnatural, like, arms aren't supposed to bend like that. His arms kind of like go and just like spin around and slash at you above the head. Yeah, and he's gonna hit you for 8 damage.
Fuck.
And then he's gonna take a swing at you, Botak. Nope, that is 11. He is going to swing around again and kind of use the momentum from his downswing on Gwyn and spin around, and he tries to bring his axe back at you, Botak, but you manage to step out of the way just in time this time. It is actually low enough to hit you, but you manage to just move out of the way real quick. And the axe kind of splinters against the wall right next to you, and he pulls it out. Gwyn.
Can I disengage?
You can if you want to take the disengage action.
Yeah, I'm gonna yeet into the room with Lily.
Okay.
That'll do. I don't know.
Right there. You can also move through people if you want to. You don't have to.
Sweet.
She's not blocking you in. Get him, Lily. So you're kind of like running past Lily. Okay.
Tag me in! Tag me in! My turn!
Kind of high-fiving her on the way. Psst, your turn.
Yep.
You have this, and Lily, you do notice as Gwyn runs past, she has this huge gash across her chest. All right, is that going to be your turn?
Yeah, I'm done, mate.
Okay, Thurxora.
Oops.
First of all, I yell to the others in the bedroom. I'm gonna take care of Botak. You take care of Gwyn. Somehow. I don't know.
Alright, okay, we got this.
And then,
Yay.
let me see. Where is let me quickly read this
Oh, I didn't even read that, Schmoodle. When I'm sorry, I totally didn't even read that sub. Ask Chachi how much he loves Hollow Knight. Chachi, how much do you love Hollow Knight? Chachi?
Do I have to answer?
Yes, you have to. I'm demanding it. I require you answer me, the DM, or else you'll fight more armors.
I would like to rage.
You're not a barbarian.
I am today.
You're like, I'm changing classes. My next level up will be barbarian.
A paladin barbarian.
Lily, your turn will be after this, so get whatever you want to do, get ready for it.
Yeah, I think I'm still gonna try to get past the whole thing into the room with the other two.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
On the other hand, first, can I see what's down the stairs? Is the house looking the same down there, or is it looking normal down there still?
It's looking old and decrepit all the way down, from what you can see with your lantern.
Okay, can I see any enemies down there, or?
You would have to move down the stairs to see any better. You can kind of peer in really quickly. At a brief glance, you don't see anything immediately, but in order to get a really
Okay, I
good look, you
think-
would have to go down.
I think I'm actually gonna move down a little further just to make sure that nothing gets at us from downstairs.
Okay. You begin to move down the stairs, and you kind of halt for a second as you begin stepping down, and you go to the next floor down, and you see those suits of armor that had been there before, and they are all standing, pointing spears in your direction. Still where they were, but they kind of have this like frozen pose of pointing their spears at you directly.
Guys? We might have another problem.
One at a
There's-
time!
There's more down here, but doesn't seem like they're doing anything yet. I'll let you know if anything changes. You just yell if you need me.
Is that going to be your turn, or?
I don't have any damage spells. I don't see any
Oh,
use
no.
for a command or anything.
Remember, he only does get one opportunity attack. He only has one reaction per round. So, just to let you guys know, just to keep that out there.
Yeah, I would just prefer not to tank an opportunity attack
Right,
by
yes.
running past. So, yeah. Oh yeah, how is Guinevere's health looking at the moment?
You can't tell from here where you're at on the stairs. You saw her take a gash to the chest, and you saw her run into the room, and that was the last you see.
It's Lily's turn next, so okay. No, that's my turn so far. I'm basically gonna
Okay.
stand guard on the stairs.
Okay, Lily, your turn.
Your wounds.
All right.
Oh, thank
But I was
God,
on-
I didn't low roll. That's a 7 plus my modifier is 3, so 10.
Ooh, that gives back all the health, I think,
I
right?
didn't low roll. It was so nearly a 1.
Wow, nice.
No, it was so nearly a 1. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
please don't be a 1. Please don't be a 1. That's all I got. I'm gonna stay standing in front for now. I've got my.
Aw, I hope you're doing good too, Scubstra.
So I don't want to back up.
Yeah, they're having a bit of issue with the
I don't
armor.
want to be too far out of range.
We'll
there.
see. We'll see how it
I'm gonna
goes.
stand here. I'm staying right where I am. That's it. That's what I got.
Okay, you're gonna stay there then. Okay. Botak. The tanky boy sitting there taking all the hits.
Is going to now try to go for the legs and just go smack.
More bonk. Go for it.
That's a natural 20.
Ooh, yeah, heck yeah, that's a crit.
20.
Nice.
Oh 18 damage.
Whoa! Whoa, 18 damage. That's double the dice? What is your dice?
When I clicked it, it rolled 4d6 instead of 2.
Okay. Okay. Right.
I did 2, 6, 4, 5, and then plus my strength.
Okay. We'll just click we'll just use that because that's easier with D&D Beyond. Usually with regular dice, I'll just double whatever you roll for the dice, but if D&D Beyond has an automatic roll 2 more dice feature, we'll just do that then. That is totally cool. All right. 18 damage. You bring your maul up, and you're like, after it misses you, it splinters into the wood. It kind of pulls a chunk out of the wall next to you, and you counter back. Wham! Smack it with your maul. You hit it square in the head. Or where did you say you were aiming?
Right at its waist. It's
Okay.
basically where the leg connects.
So you hit it right in the waist, and a chunk of the hip plate comes right off of the armor, and you kind of hear this noise of like some kind of windy. You're not exactly sure, but it sort of seems like some kind of gust of wind leaves it for a moment, and you don't see anything in there. But it looks like you definitely did something to it. It kind of lurches to the side for a moment as you hit it. Ooh, 18 damage at level 1. Nice.
I know. It's so rare.
Ooh, man, that's a good hit. Its turn.
I imagine it is not happy with
Oh,
me.
that's a 10 to hit. I don't think that hits. Take a second attack. That is 14 to hit. What's your armor?
16.
Yeah, it's going to swing at you twice again, Botak. It brings its axe back up after slightly lurching from your hit. It brings it down, and you manage to step out of the way. And as you do, it pulls its axe out of the wood, brings it back up, and the axe slightly clinks off of your armor. It kind of brings it up, and it's ka-chink, and just barely, you manage to avoid 2 slashes with this massive battle axe this thing has. Well done.
It's not
All right.
a little training, buddy.
Gwyn, your turn.
What's Gwen gonna do?
I think I'm taller than Lily, so I'm thinking I'm gonna throw my hand axe right at his head again.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm rolling real dice. It feels good to me just to roll real dice.
I threw a 16.
That's gonna miss, unfortunately. You throw your hand axe, and you throw it over Lily's head, and it goes wide and kind of sticks in the wall next to you, Botak. You just see a hand axe come out from the room and just stick in the wall next to you.
Okay.
Nice try.
Okay. Anything else you want to do?
I don't think so. Can't think of anything.
Aggravated pretty well.
Yeah, you should be back at full health too. I don't know if you make
Yeah,
sure
I
you did
am.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Thrixora.
I still don't really have much to do, considering that my physical combat capabilities are not high enough to damage this thing. So I don't really want to gamble on that. And yeah, no attack spells. So I'm just gonna sit there on the stairs.
Poor Thrix. So you're standing there, and you're looking down at those 4 armors that are pointing their spears at you. They don't seem to be moving. You haven't noticed any movement yet. So you're just going to kind of
Wonderful.
stand there and watch out for your turn?
I'm gonna engage in a staring contest with the 4 suits of armor.
Okay. Gotcha. Thrixora is intimidating these other suits of armor. Lily, it's your turn.
I think we're just gonna have to go for another firebolt. Is pretty much all I got. I need to save my spell slots at this low level. I don't even have freaking points yet. Oh god, that's not gonna hit though, because that's 7, so 12.
No, unfortunately, that also goes
No.
wide. You throw your firebolt again, and it hits him square in the chest. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be enough to do much to this armor. Botak. Or do you want to do anything else?
Yeah, lols. I'm a sorcerer. I can't do anything else.
All right, Botak, your turn.
Aha. Potex sees that he got some good smacking, so he's gonna go for the gut. Sure.
The gut attack. Gut slap.
Oh, why? It's so crooked. Whatever. I get a 5.
Get a 5. Unfortunately, after you hit it and knock that piece of plate off of its waist, you bring your maul back around again after dodging its attacks and try and give it a good hit. Unfortunately, it sort of kind of begins to move in an unnatural way. Even with the hip plate completely gone, it moves its legs almost like perpendicular to its body in a way that doesn't make any sense for a normal human body to do. And you just barely miss it with your maul. Okay. Again, it's gonna keep swinging at you, Botak. You're right there, and
I know.
it wants you dead. Damn, I am not rolling good. That is a 13 to hit. That's not gonna hit you, right? Another 13. He misses twice with his massive battle axe. He is just swinging away at you. He is brings his battle.
Like, I'm just grabbing my maul and just like when he's swinging his axe, I'm just like, no, and just bats his axe away.
Yeah, you take your maul and you bring it up as he's bringing his battle axe down with 2 hands. You manage to just barely knock it away from you. And then one-handed, he pulls the battle axe back up and then brings it back down, but you sidestep it just in time. Gwyn, your turn.
Right. Can I charge past Lily and try and smack him on the head again with my warhammer?
Yes, you can. You run past Lily, bring your warhammer up for the big bonk.
Motherfucker, I got 11.
Unfortunately, the way it's kind of moving seems to be very unnatural, and you kind of, as he's bringing around his great axe to slash at Botak, you bring down your warhammer, and it moves out of the way in its attack, just in time to dodge yours, unfortunately. And your warhammer kind of, hits against this old rotted wood, and you see dust and cobwebs and splinters go up all over the place.
Dusty.
And by the way, the only source of light right now is Thrixora. Lily, you do have your little fire in your hand, but it's not enough to really light up a large area. It's kind of like it's at most like a little candle flicker, so you can barely see where you're at in your room. But the only source of light right now is Thrixora's lantern that she has out. Thrixora.
Staring contest round 2.
Staring contest round 2. You watch the suits of armor. They still seem to be in place and unmoving. Spears just pointed in your general direction, in the direction of the stairs. But other than that, no movement from the armor boys downstairs.
Oh, and before I forget it, what I basically do is I may tend my lantern up a little further so the others can see upstairs.
Okay. You kind of take your mage hand. I think you can cast that as a bonus action, right?
I mean, it's a cantrip, so yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna cast mage hand and then lift it, use it to lift the lantern up, and kind of move it towards them a little better so they can see. Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
You guys just see your mage hand is invisible, right?
Yep.
You guys just see a floating lantern coming up from the stairs. Botak and Gwyn, kind of just floating there in front of Thurxora. Lily, your turn.
The house is haunted.
Right, I'm sick of this bastard. I'm assuming that seeing how Shocking Grasp gives you advantage if a target is wearing metal armor, I'm assuming the fact that we are fighting metal armor, I still get advantage.
Yes, I will say yes.
Well, I mean, it says you get advantage if they're made of armor because it's lightning. If
Yes,
they're wearing
you
metal
will.
armor.
I would say I will give that to you for sure. It is made of metal armor. I would say that if it has a text on it that says that you
For
get advantage with
advantage.
armor, yes,
Oh.
then totally you can take
Well,
advantage.
what I will say is thank fuck for advantage because I just rolled a nat 1. But I
Okay.
also rolled a 14, which is a 19.
That hits. Roll damage.
Booyah! Where's my DA? I am shocking the crap out of this bastard. Oh, that's a 3. Lovely. And seeing how he cannot take
Okay.
reactions anymore, and she was successful, she is going to dip back behind Gwen again.
How much damage did you roll?
3.
3 damage? Okay. You zap it, and it can't take reactions now until the end of its turn. All right, you kind of like put your hands against it, and you unleash a surge of electricity through it, and it does react. You kind of like see it go as you zap it with the armor, but it doesn't make any noise or anything like that. It doesn't. It just seems to move. All right, Botak.
Alright, seeing how Botak did pretty good with the legs, he's gonna
Have the
smack
Radiant
the other
Hydrate.
leg this time.
Okay, Scuffstra. Just gonna
Alright,
sink
roll.
deeper into your hole now.
Nope. Nope. That's your one.
Oof. That's unfortunate. You
Go.
try to bring your maul up, but it you kind of just barely bring it up in time to maybe like you dink it against the armor just a tiny bit, and it kind of dunk, kind of connects, but it doesn't really seem to do much to it. It's gonna start swinging its big old battle axe.
Come get some.
All right, it's gonna take a swing at you, Botak. Again. Oh, that one might hit. 18.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit me.
Woo! Okay, he's gonna do 5 slashing damage.
Damn.
You bring your maul up, and it kind of thuds against it. And while you're trying to recoil from that, it brings its axe around and slashes you across the arm. Blood goes splattering across the wood. Let's do another attack against Gwyn this time. That is 14.
Oh,
Does that hit?
beanie,
What's your
Uh,
armor class?
18.
Okay, that's gonna miss. So, keeping its momentum as it kind of spins around, slashing at Botak. It spins around, and its axe comes all the way around and tries to swing at you, Guinevere. And you manage to barely just duck out of the way as it slams into the side of the wall, splintering it even more. This wall is not looking good at this point. you just manage to duck over this huge battle axe, or underneath this huge battle axe as it swings over your head.
Suck it, punk.
Your turn.
Okay. I think I've done this before, but I might try and smack it in the head again with my warhammer.
Chat, what are you guys doing? Chat, what are you guys doing?
I got a 17.
A lot of sexiness. You got a 17?
Yep.
That just barely misses it, unfortunately.
No.
You, noticing it missing you, you spin your warhammer back around and try to get a good hit in. Unfortunately, though, in the position that you're at, you can't really get a very good swing on it, and you end up going a little wide with your swing against the armor as it moves around in an unnatural kind of. Its legs seem to be moving like in a way that it almost seems like it's different parts of the armor are moving in different, thought patterns. Its arm doesn't exactly move the way you would expect, and its legs kind of are moving back and forth, almost disjointed and separated from the upper torso, which makes it hard to get a grasp on. Your turn, Thrixora.
I'm tempted to say staring contest round number 3.
Okay,
And
staring
is
contest
there
round
any-
3.
Is there any major visible damage happening on the armor, or nothing that we can see so far? Any indicators? For
You do kind of see that that hit that Botak had hit it with really seemed to have done a number on the armor, and it seems to be kind of moving in a kind of a disjointed, even more disjointed than it was before, kind of a janky, wobbly state almost. It does look like it's having trouble staying together.
Okay. Next question is: am I within 60 feet to Botek?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yes. And can he hear me?
Yes, he could probably hear you from there unless you were whispering.
I'm definitely not whispering, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Bardic Inspiration on Botek,
Okay.
which will give him inspiration. For 10 minutes, the creature can add it to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, basically a 1d6. On
Heck yeah.
a roll of his choice.
Get that inspiration, Botak.
I feel inspired. Fool.
How do you give your bardic
Go,
inspiration?
Botek,
Do you
go,
kind of do a
Botek,
strum on your lute, or
go,
you
go.
you're just on the stairs going, "Go Botak, go Botak." Okay, awesome. You have a cheering squad on the stairs now.
I think she would probably start singing in I don't know which languages do I speak? Maybe in Gith. For good
Okay.
measure.
Botak, you notice Thrixora on the stairs begin to strum on her lyre and sing, and it's very beautiful, and you almost feel like the sound is filling your body in a strange way that's giving you encouragement, and you feel energized all of a sudden, unnaturally so.
All right.
Lily, your turn.
We got to smack 3.
Same again. We're coming in.
I love how everyone's just having a party in chat while while this is going on.
Okay, so 18 or an 8. So 18.
18
Holy
is
hell,
gonna
18
hit.
is
That
hitting.
just
Oh,
hits.
Fuck for that. I'm like, you're like 17's miss. I'm like, please tell me it's an 18.
Yeah, that hits. Yep.
Ooh, 6 damage.
All right.
She's gonna zap zap again and duck back behind.
Aria, no, Lily, what do you want to do to finish this thing off? We can give it some flavor.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
gonna die.
She is gonna press her hand straight onto that, right in the middle of that chest plate, and just snap that thing to pieces.
All right, you push your hands against the breastplate of this this piece of armor as it's swinging at Botak and Gwyn. As it just misses Gwyn and Gwyn misses with the hammer, you put your hands against it and just pump every last bit of your energy, electricity into this armor, and you guys can visibly see as sparks kind of begin, cracking and sparking all around this armor, and it begins to shake, and it goes, and it stays there for a second, and then the helmet, boom, 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 falls onto the floor, and then the arms, and the axe stays embedded into the wood, and the suit begins to just and crumble down to the ground. And you hear this as wind seems to escape it in some way, shape, or form. And it lies on the ground, lifeless.
Oh, well, that took longer than expected, but at least it's down. Sexora, how are the ones down there looking?
That is a very good question. Mr. DM, how are the ones down there looking? Are they still just standing there, or do they start moving?
Make a perception check.
All for rush you, same thing.
Hi, Zoli.
Yeah, 19.
You kind of bring your lantern down just a little bit with your mage hand and kind of peer at these several suits of armor that are still pointing their spears at you. You watch them very carefully. It doesn't look like they've made any movement.
Looks like they're still just standing here. Well, pointing their sticks at me, but they're just standing.
I say leave them for right now.
Yes, I agree. I think the most likely thing is that they are meant to block the exit. We should check around up here first and just make sure someone is keeping an eye on our backs.
All right.
That'll hurt, but I'm fine. Should be fine.
You guys survived your first battle without anybody dying. Congratulations.
Hooray!
Yeah. Do we get a level up now?
No, not yet.
We've gotten full 14.
But yeah.
Well, seeing how as we've already opened the door to this room, maybe we should start over here. I worry that there could be more unsavory things anywhere in this house. I feel like it might be best to stick together at this point.
Agreed. Let's go crack on.
Anybody else hurt?
I was quite badly gashed near the sensitive region by my chest, but luckily a lovely Lily patched that right up.
I got a little nick, but other than that, I'm good.
My magic reserves are running low. I do have the capacity to heal you extra if you take any more damage, but I wouldn't like to preemptively use it just in case. Not that I don't wish to heal you, of course, just I'm worried that if we get into another fight, it might be best to preserve the magic for them.
Yeah, might be a good idea to hold on to healing spells for now.
Indeed. So, someone take the lead. That preferably isn't me this time.
I mean, either if possible.
I'll take a lead. It's fine. I've been nicely patched up, so it's the least I can do. Shall we proceed through the bedroom perhaps first to the door to the
Yes, I
this
believe
room?
so. Because we've already
Yeah.
opened that room.
Okay. Come
Sounds
on
good to
down.
me.
Okay. You guys begin to walk into this room, and now that you're not in, now that you actually have a decent light, as Thurxora comes in with their lantern, you can get a better look at it. You see dust and cobwebs and rotted wooden boards shrouding what was once an elegantly appointed bedroom. There's like ornate trim decorating rotted wall panels in a relatively open room. Furniture, it consists of a large bed with two end tables in front of these white curtained windows. Dark, and you don't see any light coming through them. A set of double doors with panes of stained glass sits in the northwest corner. And there's another empty web-filled fireplace on the south wall. And you see looking directly to your left as you enter the room, you see a large wardrobe and a big full-length mirror with an ornate frame directly adjacent to you. The door to your immediate right, as you enter the room, is slightly ajar. But you can't really see in there very well. It's very dark.
Okie dokie. Couple of places to check out here. Do we want to check the wardrobe just in case, and then maybe proceed?
Yes, I shall. Just gonna have a look through the wardrobe, see if there's anything of interest.
You know, guys, I feel like we've been duped.
All right. You, Lily, pass by the mirror to go to the wardrobe. And you kind of glance over. Roll a wisdom saving throw for me. This is a saving throw, so it's not a disadvantage.
Nat 20, making a 22.
Nat 20, okay. You glance over towards the mirror, and you see yourself reflecting in it. You continue on, and you go towards the wardrobe and swing it open. It's full of dust and cobwebs, and nothing more.
Someone really needs to get the cleaner in here. Oh, let's just clear the rest of this place. This is obviously some sort of ridiculous, I don't know, trap to lure in unwary people. Let's clear this place and get out of here.
I feel like we've been duped. I feel like those
Maybe.
kids set us up.
Did she opened up the crystal tank?
Well,
So I must.
we'll see, I suppose, but I don't like to leave a place unchecked. There could still be something interesting here. And the fact that the layout is still off is very vexing to me.
All I want to make sure.
Thank you,
now
Chandler,
is
for
that
the
there's
nom
no
noms.
other
It was
enemies
good beef
that
jerky.
are going to attack us on this floor.
Well, I didn't realize that door was open when we stepped back into this room, so maybe check that first.
Oh, there is a door there. Alright. You want to check that door?
All right.
Bobby?
You're just gonna swing the door open. It's slightly ajar right now. All right.
I'll just swing it open.
You swing this door open, and before you, it's hard immediately to make out the details of the room. You kind of even with your dark vision, the shadows, the corners are like dark and shadowed. and there doesn't seem to be much in the way of furniture. But you do see, standing in front of what seems to be a crib covered with a black shroud, a pale, skeletally thin young woman in what looks to be servant's attire that you had seen downstairs. She is partially translucent and looking down at the crib silently. But even as you swing this door open with a loud "Arr!" she doesn't seem to react or notice you.
I'll go whisper to everybody else, be like, guys,
I basically
there's somebody half
step
here.
over Botek, and so I'm basically standing over / behind him, and use my mage hand to try to tap this figure, being like, ooh, yeah.
Do you say "Unya"?
Oh my goodness. Hi, Kono. I can't.
Do you make a loud noise? Do you go "Unya"?
Doing well today.
Yes.
Okay.
D&D right now.
Your mage hand, invisible though it is, you move it towards this figure, and you make a loud noise, and you will the mage hand to pat her on the shoulder, and it seems to not hit anything. It kind of just, and you.
Okay, so
As you make that noise and that sound, the woman very slowly kind of turn towards you, and you see a gaunt, very emaciated looking face of this woman, and she kind of just has her mouth open a little bit. My baby.
I just point to Rex and go like, she did it.
Do you have my baby?
what's your baby's name?
Walter.
Nope, never heard of them.
You just say Walter, really? Lily actually bursts out laughing. She's like trying to control herself, but she cannot help but snigger at who the fuck calls their baby Walter. Come on.
You can see
Well, I don't say we've seen him, no.
she kind of begins to move closer towards you. She doesn't walk, she floats closer towards you, this strange apparition, as she kind of fades in and out of existence, gaunt, her clothes tattered and falling apart. You don't have him. Where's my child? Where is he?
I have no idea.
Who are
Lily is
you?
just looking very confused. Like at Zora, like help, because her instant reaction is to ask where she left him. So she's looking very pleadingly at the others, hoping they know what to say.
Miss, where have you seen Walter last? Maybe we can help you find him.
She took him. She took him.
Who is she?
And she begins to bury her heads in her hands. She took him. and begins to sob like loudly. She took him. And she kind of just begins to say that over and over again.
Rex, look what you did. You made her cry.
Sorry, miss. Like I said, maybe we can help you find him. Who is she? Who took him?
Roll a persuasion check.
A persuasion. Fucking stupid. Persuasion. There it is.
Okay, Skavstra. Happy lurking.
Oh,
It's a 3. With a +2, so it's a net 1 with a +2 modifier.
Oof. She doesn't seem to be responding to your voice. She just keeps saying this over and over. She took him. She took him. She took him. She doesn't seem
Lily
to be
is going
responding.
to take a big deep breath and put on her sort of people talking persona and very carefully sort of push Thexora to the side and move forward and look at her very closely and say, "Okay, look at me. Who is she?"
Okay, you make a persuasion check, Lily.
22. Yes, for that +5.
She's sitting there mumbling as you try and say this to calm her down. She took him. She. The lady. Elizabeth. She took him to the altar. I see you drawing a picture of Ghosty Goo Lady. Very beautiful. She kind of just stands there looking at you, kind of hovering in place. She took him away. Sacrificed. He is gone. She took him. And she begins to bury her head in her hands again. And she kind of she begins to kind of mumble off. She took him. She took him. She took him. And begins to very slowly fade away. And you kind of are left with this echoing, mumbling noise as she disappears.
Well, sacrificing children. That's lovely. I suppose we should find this person.
Save that for another time.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously. Let's clear this place first.
Right.
Gwen, the next door?
Yeah. It's stained glass though. Is there any way we could try and peek through? Is it like opaque or?
It is opaque. You cannot see through the stained glass, unfortunately. It is a very thick stained glass.
Right. Well, here goes nothing. I'm gonna crack the door open slightly and peek my head through.
Okay. You go for the handle of the door. It's locked.
Oh. Well. Never mind.
Just kick it in. This house is decrepit enough, and it's caused us enough trouble. Can't abide a
Are you
locked door.
sure about that? I don't want to alert any armor around. If there's, especially the dudes on the stairs. Don't know what's going to trigger them.
That is a fair point. Hmm. Is there any
Let's
other way
just-
into this room? Maybe it joins on to the other one.
Ah, yes, there's a. No, sure.
Just a short thing, guys. I found a picture of how the spooky ghost lady looks. It's in our Discord group.
Oh,
What? God damn it. I'm not showing anyone that.
I
refuse.
I recognize that for some reason.
Yeah, I wonder who drew it.
Oh my gosh. You showed a picture of Big Mommy Waffles. So what are you guys doing?
It's up to you guys. If you want me to kick the door in, I can try, or we can take another path.
So, just to clarify, this double door is not opening, and the small side door in her room is also not opening.
The side door and the side door that she was in is opened. You guys can go in there if you want,
Okay.
but the double doors are locked.
Okay. Foxara steps around the corner into her room, being like, "Sorry, lady."
Yeah. Wait, we get it. All right, we'll get rid of lady out there.
No.
We can't see the the window. How do we grab stuff? Hold on. How do I grab things? Oh my gosh. Can I just select all? Oh, I have to do it one by one. Oh Jesus. Well, there goes Botac. Botac died. Suddenly, Botac disappears along with the ghost lady. Poof.
Guys, don't worry.
Okay, so there's not much to this room. You kind of walk in, and kind of Thurxora brings in a lantern, and there's not much in here. You see the ornate trim on the wooden panels around, and the only piece of furniture in here is the crib with the black shroud over it, and a window with a very thick white curtain, dark and unmoving.
Can we pull the curtain aside, or is it hanging there from the other side?
No, you can pull it aside, and you do,
Okay.
and you pull open the curtain, and you see bricks.
This is weird.
There is a wall on the other side of this window.
Whoever planned this house is definitely not a professional architect.
Wait, so it's just a wall.
It is bricks very similar to what you had seen, the masonry built on the outside of the house.
So,
Is it actually there? Someone touch it.
Wait, hold on. Is the window look like it's been bricked up, or is it just, or I look out the window and I see bricks?
It is the window, and you see the window pane, and just behind the window itself, the glass window, you see a bunch of bricks built up on the other side of it.
All right, I'm gonna smack it.
You gonna smack the window?
Yes.
All right, roll an attack roll.
Why is a window boarded up? It just means no sin whatsoever. Hi, yeah. 18.
All right. What's
Question,
your
can
damage?
you even reach the window?
Oh, come on. Wow.
What'd you roll for
Exora
damage?
picks up Botek and puts him on the window shelf so he can hit the window.
Okay. You're next to the focus. Oh, pretty good. 12.
All right. You bring your maul up at the window that is, it's still, you're not that short. You can still reach the window. You bring your maul up and all of you hear this, very loud, piercing the silence, this shattering window as the glass, sprinkles down all over the floor, kicking up dust and cobwebs around you. Your maul hits the wall. Nothing.
That's a pretty solid wall, guys.
We can't see that much.
Now you've made plenty of noise, we may as well try and take out the door as well.
True.
I was trying
Yep.
to see if the bricks there would just bust down, but apparently not.
Do we want to check the crib?
I ain't looking in that crib. I'm not looking in that crib. I'm gonna go ahead and move back out now.
Well, Botek, I'm sure you would look nice inside it. I mean, you would
Yeah.
fit.
All right, toddler, you want me to put you in there?
The Exora steps out of
Could
the
you
door,
reach
looks down the
someone in
stairs,
a
and
crib?
hears the armors from downstairs.
Are you looking downstairs? You would have to, in order to be
Yes.
able to see the armors downstairs, you would have to get onto the actual stairwell and begin moving down. You can.
I'm basically just looking down here to see if they're coming up the stairs or if they're still down there.
Okay. Make a perception check.
My perception. An 11.
11. You kind of bring your lantern over the edge of the balcony and peer downwards, and you can see that there's there's an opening in the spiral staircase that goes all the way down to the very first floor, and it's a while down. You can't the lantern just reaches barely the light barely reaches the edge of the floor at the very bottom floor. You can't really see anything moving though.
Okay. Looks like we're still safe over here.
Okay.
Hi, little blue.
Now
Yes, we're playing D&D.
we're gonna stop the short jokes, okay, ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise, you can be in front of me when we get in combat. Okay.
Lily just smirks and says, "Yeah, kill the healer. That's a great idea."
Yeah, go right ahead.
Cool. Shall I smash the fucking door then?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna smash the door.
All right. Roll an attack roll.
Ooh. $19. 24.
24. Yeah, you hit that door. What's the damage?
Uh, $13.
13. Nice. Boy, if only you guys had gotten that against the armor.
I know, how?
You take your big ol' warhammer and just absolutely clobber this door. the stained glass just splashes out, and the door just splinters and creaks, and you swing through it, and you expect your hammer to just go through it, but you hear a thunk, and the stained glass kind of falls forward, and the splinters fall inward, and you can see your hammer has hit another brick wall.
Mother trucker. Oh,
There is definitely something very.
What bricks up a wall? An entire room.
The same people who put hidden areas in their house. That's who. This is most disturbing.
Hi, Slots. Sorry.
Thexora
Hi,
tries to
Slots.
peek
Thank
out
you
of
for the
this window
raid.
here, just to see
Hope you're
if
doing
there's
good.
also a brick wall behind that window.
And Pepper. You gonna peel the curtain aside?
Yep.
All right. You open the burgundy colored, or no, these are thick white drapes, similar to the same one in the nursery room. And you shove it aside, and more bricks.
Guys, I am tempted to say that these bricks are not of normal nature. Look over here. Seems like it's not just that door
Oh,
and
we're
that
doing
window
good.
bricked up, but rather
We're doing
everything.
good, Slots.
That is
Oh.
not a good sign. Okay, check the rest of the house, or the rest of this floor at least, before we panic too badly. At least the areas we can get to.
Therxora, as you're passing by the mirror to go through this room again, roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
A wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
A 13.
You are walking past with your lantern. And you're walking past the mirror and you look towards it and something catches your eye. And you kind of peer closer at it. You see yourself, but you are gaunt and emaciated and look skeletally thin in this mirror. You look like you haven't eaten or drinking anything in weeks. As if you had just crawled out of the grave.
She steps back from the mirror. I don't like this. I really
What
don't
is
like
it?
this. I absolutely don't like this. I'll stare at the brick tapunos instead.
You,
What is it?
Therxora, you are frightened of this mirror and you cannot bring yourself to look in the mirror again or go anywhere near it.
Okay. She basically flees out of the room, pushing or squeezing herself past Lily and Gwen over here.
Lily kind of looks at the mirror and then looks at Zora and looks back at the mirror, and like the wheels are turning in her head. Best we move on, I think.
Should we maybe look into this door next? As she points on
Yes.
at the door.
Yes, Gwen,
Yep.
could you?
of course. Gwen opens the door
Okay.
confidently.
You open this relatively smaller door compared to the other doors around here. You assume it's to a smaller room,
Yeah.
and you see what looks to be some kind of storage closet, there's dusty shelves. You can kind of just barely catch inside this. Do you have dark vision?
No.
Okay, you can kind of barely catch what's inside this room as Thurxora is holding up the lantern behind you. You see dusty shelves lining the walls. Few of the shelves have like these folded sheets and blankets, some old bars of soap, essential cleaning supplies. There's like a cobweb covered broom leaning against the far wall.
Anyone else want to? I can't really see very well. Can we? Someone want to come take a better look? It doesn't look too dangerous in here.
Thuxora Mage Hand hovers the lantern into the storage room.
Good idea.
Okay.
There you go.
You're gonna take a closer look around. Roll a perception check, either Gwyn or Thorxera, or both of you if you want.
Okay, we'll both do it.
Or one of you, you can do one of you with advantage because the other's helping you out, or you can do both of you do a separate roll. Actually, I would say for perception, both of you would have to do a separate roll. Yeah.
Okay.
11.
18.
Okay. You kind of peer in there, bringing the lantern up. Now that it's a little bit more illuminated, you look through these different implements all over the place. Not much in here. Just kind of cleaning supplies and extra towels and soaps and sheets. But that's all you can see.
Is there anything in there that we could improvise bandages or something from?
You could try to improvise bandages. It wouldn't do much mechanically, but you could try, and maybe if you need something to, stop some bleeding or something like that, you could definitely grab one of the sheets and use it to wrap somebody around.
Yeah, I think Thuxara will then move in there, grab a towel or something, and bandage her arm with it.
Okay. Okay.
Just so she's not leaving a trail of blood on the floor.
Got you. Yes. You do. You take the towel and you rip it, or do you rip it, or you just kind of tie the towel around yourself?
I think I'll probably rip it into stripes and then try to make an improvised bandage out of it instead of just wrapping the towel around the arm.
Okay. You kind of rip this very thin, flimsy. The towel seems like it's been here for a long time, and it kind of smells of mold slightly. You kind of rip it up and use it to stop the bleeding so that you're not dropping little drops of blood all over the place from the gash in your arm.
Yep.
And it seems to do the trick. It absorbs the blood.
It's better than nothing, I guess.
Right, I don't think there's much else going on in here, do you?
No, onwards. I'd rather try and find a way out of here sooner rather than later with the way things are going. However annoyed I may be about the fact we can't get into places.
All right, what are you guys doing?
I'll be opening up this door.
You're gonna open up the large. These are very large, very ornate-looking double doors. They have these dusty panes of stained glass set into them. Designs in the glass resemble windmills, and it's very pretty looking. minus the fact one's pretty looking. A layer of dust covers the paned glass. You open them up. And you see you open the doors to a dusty, cobweb filled, what looks to be master bedroom. Burgundy drapes cover the windows directly in front of you. And you tense up for a moment as you look down to find a mangled heap of dusty orange fur and a snarling face of a rotting tiger skin rug on the floor in front of the unlit fireplace. Above the fireplace, looking over to your left, you see a dust-covered portrait of the man with the thin mustache and the thin woman you recognize from the family portrait on the balcony outside. Still glancing to the left, you see a vanity with a large wood-framed mirror immediately to your left. Swinging, actually, you have dark vision, right?
Yes.
Okay. Swinging your gaze around, you rest your eyes on a 4-poster bed lying in the corner. It's covered with these embroidered curtains and tattered gossamer veils hanging from the canopy. But what's really catching your attention is what else is hanging from this canopy. A tattered, desiccated body in these once regal purple garbs hangs from the tall corner of the bedpost. A noose made from some sort of sheet hangs around its lifeless neck.
Yeah, there's a dead person in here. They're, yeah, by those things, very much dead.
Oh, really?
That's a feature that dead people sometimes have, that they are dead.
How did they die? Male or female?
I can't tell at this distance, but I can pretty much tell. Yeah, they no easy way to say this. They kind of hang themselves.
Oh, I wonder if it was that lovely ghost we wandered into earlier.
Do you enter the room?
I don't feel the most comfortable doing this, but let's take a look around.
While the others enter the room, Thuxora opens up this door and throws a quick look inside. To see
Okay.
if there's anything special in there.
All right. So, Thuxora, you open this door, and you kind of see this kind of a darker room filled with cobwebs and dust like the other rooms that you've seen in here. Looks to be some kind of a bathroom of some sort. It contains a old wooden tub with clawed feet, just filled with dust and cobwebs. There's a small iron stove with a kettle resting atop it, and a barrel under a spigot on the east wall. Other than that, not much in here that you can see. But you would
looks
have,
like
would
a
have to step in
bathroom.
otherwise, just get a better look. The others, as you walk closer to the body, you do see that it is male. You also see 2 wardrobes on the other side of the bed and a small parlor in the southwestern corner, as well as one door directly across from the bed, kind of a smaller, thinner door, and a larger, yet more stained glass window door to the east.
I'm gonna peek open this door.
Okay. 1 second. Get my notes.
As long as the body isn't moving, I'm not gonna pay too much attention to it.
All right. You open up this door, and it looks to be a closet of some sort. It is dust choked, and it smells of mold and rot, and you can see these various outfits of different types. Very fancy looking dresses and garbs, some hats sitting on a top shelf, all molding, all decrepit, and looks like moths have eaten away at them.
I'm assuming none of you ladies need a moldy old dress.
Not unless it's covered in old waffles. In the Christmas period. No.
No, I think I'm good.
You do see
I'm gonna knock on this wall again.
You do see, as you're passing by this parlor, or near this parlor, you do see there is a sitting on top of it is a very dusty tablecloth, and there's an empty porcelain bowl and a matching jug, and just sitting underneath the jug is a piece of paper. Lily, what'd you say you were doing?
I want to start tapping on this wall again to see if I can find any weak spots and checking the desk, because she is annoyed as fuck by this random gap in this house.
Okay, roll investigation for me.
Investigation +2, so 20. Not a nat 20, but 20.
Okay, you kind of tap on the wall a little bit. You kind of hear, and you would expect if there was nothing on the other side of the wall, you would expect it to be kind of hollower sounding. But it is a thick, like it is a hard. There isn't much echo to your tap. You kind of, and it sounds like there's something solid on the other side of this wall. You decide to. You said you were checking out the vanity too.
Yes.
You look at the vanity, and on top of the vanity, you see. You see a jewelry box and a key sitting next to it. This very small, foot-long jewelry box, and this large iron key.
Zora, when you're done, mind coming in here? I don't particularly want to touch anything in this place.
Okay.
Any chance you could use your little friend?
Mage hands the key out of there.
Yeah. Lily's like, you have that. I don't want to touch anything in this house.
Okay, you mage hand, pick the key up. Nothing seems to happen.
No, we just need to find a keyhole for it.
Hey guys, I found a letter. Or some type of note.
Okay.
Go pick up the note.
Read it.
Okay.
What does it say?
You pick
we
up the
read it on
note.
the- Question: Can Botek even reach it on the table?
Oh my god. Stop bullying the gnome. These big bullies.
Alright, you can be in front of me next time, okay?
It's so easy to swing over his head.
You don't want your healer to go into the first row.
Well, that will be their fault. Well,
You take
maybe
it,
it'll teach them a lesson.
and you see a note. You see the words on it are very hastily scrawled. You can barely even make out the handwriting. I will show it to you guys. You can read it out loud.
My dearest children, the darkness takes us. I am sorry that your mother and I have brought it upon you. What began as survival turned into our obsession, and now to our downfall. In my final moments, I see clear. We are anathema. Am I pronouncing that right? I'm hoping.
Anathema.
Anathema, okay. And are being punished. We deserve it, but I regret that your fates are tied to ours. I love you both with all my heart. No amount of darkness and death will ever change that. May all of our souls find peace. Your loving father, Gustav. That must be him hanging around the neck. You know. Oh.
What are you guys doing?
Xora has lets the key hover a little closer to her face and takes a closer look at it to see if she can make out which door this key could go to. How does the key look like, basically?
Roll investigation.
Investigation. It is a 21.
You look at the key, and it seems to be pretty thick. It looks like it would be to something larger, like a door or something like that, but you can't recognize what door it might go to.
Is it a fancy looking key or?
It is.
simple looking key?
It is simpler looking. It is not very fancy. It is kind of this. It is a simple iron key. Not much to it. Very basic.
Okay. This looks like it goes to a door or something, but it's not too fancy, so I don't think it's anything big. Might be one of the side doors, if there's any locked doors in here.
Maybe. Well, at least we know it's here if we need it.
If anybody finds a keyhole, let me know.
Worried about that note. Anathema. I feel like that rings a bell, but I don't know. Does anyone know what that is?
Anathema just means it just means like something or something that somebody like really dislikes. Like hold on, let me pull up the dictionary. It's
a
a
literary. Okay, no, I'm
it's a
good. I
word.
know what it is. It's a literary term, but I know there is
Yes.
there is actually a race by that name.
Well, right. No, they're not talking. They're talking about the word
Right.
anathema.
There's
Okay.
also a progressive rock band from Liverpool.
Yes.
That's what they're talking. Yeah, they're talking about the progressive rock band from Liverpool. We are
are.
anathema, and we are being punished. 1, 2, 3,
They
4.
also do death metal.
It's a death metal band.
Oh gosh.
Seeing this note, my guess would be that the children we met outside.
Anathema is just someone vile and
Detested
detested.
as well. Welcome, Raiders.
So, The question is,
I was
what do
just
we...
a wraith. I can't talk too much, but you know, I'm here.
Hello, Raiders.
Hello.
I thought I did it myself.
No worries, no worries. What are you guys doing?
Botek is now going to check out the other door.
Okay. You go to open the door. It is locked.
Hey, Threx.
Hmm?
I think I found a locked door. Maybe your key goes over here.
She mage hands the key over to the keyhole and tries to unlock the door with it.
I love the mage hand. I couldn't be
It literally
bothered to
says in
carry
the
this.
description. It literally says in the description that you can use it for that.
Why use your hands when you have mage hand?
Exactly.
Why
You
touch the potential cursed key
you
if you can use mage hand?
bring the mage hand over, standing in front of the door, and you try to put it into the lock. It doesn't seem to fit. You kind of try and jam it in there. It doesn't work.
I don't think this is the right key for that door. Sorry, Botek.
Well, at least we know it's not for this door.
It's just makes me wonder. Because I don't think there have been any other locked doors in this house that we encountered.
Hello, sluts. Also, Little Blue. Bully the gnome. Maximum bulls.
We could maybe there's
Poor gnome.
No.
No bully
Been
chachi.
to literally every single place in the entire map, in the entire house. I don't think there was another door that was locked.
That's what I just said.
I know. I'm just thinking. If it doesn't go in any of these ones that have all been unlocked, maybe it goes to some place that's hidden.
Is it
Um,
perhaps worth
Thurxara.
checking the... Oh, continue.
Thurxara has a look at the flap over here that she assumes goes to the thingamabob chute to the kitchen.
You
and-
do see in the corner there's a small a small square door with a bell next to it.
Yeah. And she tries to see if Botek might fit into it.
You open the door and look inside. It does look like a dumbwaiter shaft, though the dumbwaiter is on the ground floor, as you guys remember. You think it's a couple feet wide. If Botak did take his armor off, he might be able to fit in there. It would be a snug fit, but he probably could.
Look at her and
Yeah,
be like,
Thurxara is just staring down the shaft.
thank you.
Lily just comes wandering over and sees the thought process happening, and
Might be worth a try if we don't want to march through the
the guards. Indeed,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. You could. I mean, if you could get in there, you could scout down the floors for
Yeah.
us.
True.
Yes, let's split up right now when we're in a house that is completely hostile to us. While
Maybe we should
also,
have a look at the
That-
door over there first.
also let's be pretty clear on this, okay? I'm going to have to probably take off my armor to get through that. I will not be have very good defenses if I'm caught off alone in this house down anywhere.
Yeah. Let's keep it in mind as an option. And let's try getting through this door first.
D&D conversations. How can we fit this gnome in the dumbwaiter?
Sorry,
I
I'm
love
just
Dungeons and Dragons so much.
options. You know?
You could probably squeeze
Need
it
to
there.
get
For a
if you
last
somehow-
resort, when my entire party dies, because they would want to keep insulting the person that's.
It's not an insult, okay? I don't mean it in any bad way.
Hmm.
You're just the only person that's suited for this job.
Mhm.
Where is Botek's forehead censored?
Oops. Didn't mean
is
to do
this
that.
window-
We'd have to censor Botek's forehead.
Censor how angry he is.
Yes, exactly. What'd you say? That is just a window behind the.
Yes. Like, can Lily wants to pull the curtain aside and look out the window. Ignore the fact that the token is standing on the bed. She's gonna squeeze behind it.
You pull the thick burgundy curtains aside. More bricks.
Oh, bricks. This does not bode well for us.
Okay.
I mean, let's consider our options. We have a locked door and a staircase with 4 very angry-looking suits of armor at the bottom. I think we should go for the
try
locked
and
door.
break down yet another locked door. I mean, what's one more at this point?
And what's the worst thing that can happen other than bricks?
I know it might seem disrespectful, but would it be worth actually checking the body?
Oh, if you wish. He's not going to be in need of it anymore, is he? He's dead.
Okay. I just want to check pockets and such.
Okay.
Please-
Roll
please be
investigation.
careful. And maybe we should cut it down.
Oh, thank you, Slots. Slot says they're going to take their exercise. May all your rolls be plentiful, travelers.
It didn't work. I got a 1.
Same.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Bigger.
Curse me.
You kind of begin to look over this body, and this body reeks. This is not the most pleasant smelling this is not a pleasant experience. You begin to look over it, and you can see, even with that investigation check, he seems to have like a little bit of a thin mustache. It was male. And you kind of begin to briefly check through, but it stinks, and you have to pull yourself away. And unfortunately, you don't find anything on the body.
Thurxora offloads the mage-handed key in a cup on the table and makes her way over to the body as well.
Okay.
Is it, just to clarify, it's still hanging there, right?
Yep.
Or did we take it down?
Nobody took it down.
And she carefully pulls out her dagger and cuts it down,
Okay. It comes down with a.
lays it on the bed. Gently.
All right. You grab the body. It stinks, and you kind of have to move your head to the side as you bring it towards the bed and lay it down.
Very happy that I don't have a nose.
And it kind of just flops onto the bed.
Even without a nose, I can smell that. And, I just don't think we should leave it hanging there. It takes a few steps back to catch some fresh air.
Okay. you kind of you do notice this body is also very very thin, gaunt, and emaciated, almost mummified looking.
Ugh.
Well, nowhere to go but down from here.
Or through the dock door.
You guys seriously want me to get rid of my clothes, huh?
No, through this door. And she points at the knocked door. I mean, there is a fourth floor of this building, if you remember correctly, and or at least there was from the outside, and we haven't been to one yet. So there's a good chance that there's stairs behind this door.
Was it 4-story or the 3-story?
You do remember it was a 4-story house, 3
Oh.
stories, and what looked to be a smaller 4th story, like an attic or something like that.
Well, guess we'll give it a try to bash the door open.
Okay. You don't have to roll attack, just roll damage.
Eight.
You splinter this door with your maul. The paned glass, very similar to the double doors that you had swung at earlier. The paned glass shatters forward. The splinters come out. And your maul hits another brick wall on the other side of this door.
There. Happy bricks.
Well, fuck me. Actually, I have an idea. Thuxora makes her way back over to the other room, trying to stay as far away from the mirror as possible, and sees if the key that she picked back up from the.
Okay, you find it hard to go into this room. You find yourself sitting at the door, afraid to go anywhere near that mirror.
Millie, can you maybe try if. Actually, I could try it from here. Mage hand. And she mage hands the key all the way over to the door and just sees if it fits into the keyhole of that door by any chance.
You try to find the lock to this door, but the lock is now laying on the floor in a group of shattered splinters. You try the lock on the ground. Doesn't seem to fit.
Okay, so it wasn't for this door either, at least.
It's like, okay.
Lily wants to take a closer look at this mirror.
Okay. You look into the mirror.
Wardrobe.
You see your reflection.
Which is why
Okay, she wants to like feel around it and see if it's like concealing like a doorway or something. It seems like the sort of thing in her mind that would conceal a door, something that makes you terrified of it.
Roll investigation.
so mine is
19.
You kind of look at this mirror and you look at the trim of this ornate trim that covers this panel on this mirror, and you can see in between like this beautiful ivy that covers it, you see like these strange looking eyes almost looking back at you in between the wood carved ivy and leaves and little grapes that are carved into this frame. And that seems strangely out of place for you. You kind of begin to tap on the mirror. Toom, toom, toom. It seems hollow on the other side. There is an echo coming from the other side when you tap it.
Hey, guys. I think I found something. She's gonna kind of very, very carefully run her hands where the eyes are and see if there are any buttons, depressions, anything she can push to make it open.
You run your hands along the ornate frame. Nothing really happens. You don't seem to find any depression or something that would act like a button or anything like that.
Should I smash it?
I mean, if we have to, yes, but there has to be some way to open this.
Okay, I'll let you do the logical stuff. I'll just wait here with my hammer.
She takes a step back and kind of has a look around the room in general to see if there's anything that looks out of place
Roll perception.
that would be traditionally used or something like that. Oh, wow. Well, that's not going to go well at all.
I will note that anybody who doesn't have dark vision, if Thurxora is the only one with the lantern, if you don't have dark vision, you won't be able to see anything without Thurxora holding a lantern. You could also light a torch if you want or something like that.
But that's like a 7 on perception, so...
Unfortunately, you look around, you don't really see anything that might be particularly out of place. Or
You know what, we
strange
don't
or
have
anything.
time for this. Maybe smashing it would be the best idea.
If smarts don't work, smash it. Okay.
Well, I hate to agree with you, but sometimes it must be done.
Okie dokie. Now, can
Okay.
I hit it from the side without looking into it? Because I have a warhammer, so it's quite long.
Can you do what?
Can I swing it from the side so I don't have to be in?
So the shards aren't going
into
to. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can. You
Yeah,
get a
okay.
big warhammer. You step off to the side
Yeah.
of the mirror and roll damage.
Uh, 12.
Oh yeah.
12 to hit. Yeah.
Yeah, you swing your hammer wide. Lily, I assume you step back away from the mirror.
Oh yeah, she stepped across to the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
You swing your hammer. The mirror shatters, and this loud Botak, if you're still in the other bedroom, way over there, the master bedroom, you hear this loud shattering noise.
I was about to check this cabinet when I heard that. I'm like, uh-oh.
And
Going.
your hammer, Gwyn, goes clear through the mirror, and it seems that there is nothing on the other side. You kind of peer in, but without a light source, you can't really see in there. But it looks like there's not a wall on the other side.
Botak, call to Zora. The mirror has been smashed. Hopefully, she'll be able to.
Hey, what just
get-
happened?
Oh,
worry about
there's some sort of space behind this mirror. I tried to figure out how to get it open, but as we're so short on time, brute force seemed the best option. But there's a hollow space here.
Okay.
Lily's
Hey.
gonna kind of
You-
just not go in, but like kind of poke her head in just to look and make sure there's nothing like right in front of them.
You said the mirror's gone?
Yeah.
Yes, it's shattered.
Thurxora,
Carefully
you
steps over both.
your fear of this mirror, it was almost it was this gripping feeling, this terrible fear for you. It suddenly, as soon as you heard that shattering noise, this unnatural fear left you, and you like that was weird, and you can now enter this room.
She steps over Botek. squeezes past Gwen and stands in front of the hole in the wall and Mage hands her lamp inside it very carefully
You look
to see
in,
what's inside.
and it seems to be this small little a very dusty sort of inlet into what looks like a stairway covered just covered in cobwebs and dust, and it looks like it has been used in a very, very long time.
Would Botek fit in there without taking his armor off?
Yes, Votek would fit in there without taking his armor off.
I'm sorry, Chachi, I just had to ask.
It is about narrow enough for one person at a time.
Guys, looks like there's stairs in here.
Going upwards.
Well,
Yeah, they go upwards.
seeing how the guards are
maybe-
blocking our way down, maybe that's our only choice.
Yeah, I would suggest, considering that we don't know what's waiting on the other end, that Botek takes the lead because you're the most nimble in tight spaces, and I think you're also the most used to fighting in there.
I can go next. If anything ambushes him, I still have some magic reserves in me. I can heal.
I'll take the
Alright,
rear
then.
because I can't really see in the dark, to be honest, and
I'll
still
go third then, and you just follow me, Gwen. You have
I
the
will
name
wedge
tag.
Light, Gwen.
Okay. You guys begin to go up these stairs, and they creak, and you have to be careful as you're stepping through, making sure not to, your foot might even go through the floorboards. You're not sure. They seem old, dusty, and very creaky as you go up the stairs into the attic, which we're going to reveal over here. The stairs go up one flight and then turn and then go to the left and go up another. You see a door at the end of the stairway, or at the top of the stairway. Very, very thin door.
I'm gonna try the handle. Is it locked?
It opens.
Okay. All right. Doesn't seem to be locked. I'm gonna open it slowly.
You slowly open this door and peek through. And from where you're at, you kind of just see a very bare looking hallway. Not much seems to be here, even glancing around to the sides of the walls and such, you don't see any kind of furniture. It is dust choked, cobweb filled, and bare. There is a window across from where you're at, covered in a black curtain, and a door to your left. You would have to move farther into the room in order to see more, though.
It looks clear. Come on.
Okay. You move farther into the room, and it seems like a hallway with many connecting doors. You see directly to your right is one door, and farther down the hallway, are a door to the east and west. And directly to your west is another dust-filled door.
All right. Which one do we want to start opening?
Whichever you like the most.
All right. Eeny, meeny, miny. This is the door over here, right?
That is a window.
Okay, that is a window. Okay. Well, we'll go with this window all the way on the very end, on the right.
Okay. You open the door. Seems to open.
not locked.
You see what seems to be some sort of maybe a spare attic bedroom. There's a slender bed with a nightstand and a small iron stove, perhaps used for heating or some such. There's a wardrobe in the corner, slightly open, directly to your left. But not much to this room. It's very small, cramped, and seems to be a spare bedroom of some sort.
Doesn't seem to be much in this one. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn around and open up the other one.
Okay.
I am breaching and clearing the entire place.
Breach and clear, breach and clear. Go, go, go. You open this door to see a dusty chamber filled with white sheets. They seem to be covering chairs, furniture, maybe what looks to be mirrors. Some of the sheets even look vaguely humanoid shaped. The only thing not covered in white sheets is an iron stove on the north wall. What's your passive perception?
Well,
12. As you take in the room, Botak, you begin to smell it. That same smell you had smelled in the master bedroom, the smell of rot and decay, tinges your nose.
guys, I smell more. Well, no good way to put it. More dead people in here. I see a few things covered up by some sheets. Looks like there might be some bodies in here. Don't know how many. But it looks like most of the stuff is just old furniture.
The Xara is gonna step up to Botek and look at him, being like, should we maybe look under some of the sheets?
I'd use that hand of yours, just in case
Yeah.
something is a friend like downstairs.
And from out here, she starts mage handing the sheets of the things.
Okay. Roll investigation with disadvantage because you're just using your mage hand from a distance. So you can't really get in there and take a good look at everything.
An 11.
11. Okay. You begin to take off these sheets one by one. A couch. A chair. You pull down one near to you that looks that humanoid shape. Pull it down. What seems to be some sort of dress mannequin sits staring in your direction. You pull another one. A coat rack seems to be underneath one of these sheets. You pull another one, another chair, just furniture after furniture. You pull another one. There is a large high-backed chair that looked like it would belong in the dining room downstairs. Very fancy looking. These chairs are very, very nice and well made. And you see a box next to the stove that you also pull a sheet down from. Other than that, you just see lots of furniture.
No corpses.
No corpses.
You don't see any dead people here.
You could smell them, right?
Definitely smells like
Look
rot
for
and
some-
decay.
Yeah. Maybe it's in another room though.
Well,
When Doxora moves into the room, has a look at the box.
Okay. You see the box is about a 4 foot by 2 foot trunk. Seems to be old and dusty, like everything else in here. Cobwebs stick to the back of it, between it and the walls.
Can we open it?
Sure. You go to open the trunk, kind of undoing the latches that are on the front of it. They seem to come open. You see wrapped in a white sheet covered in dark stains what looks to be a bundle of some large object, but you can't really make out what it is. It stinks, though. You definitely know that
What
the
the
smell
heck?
of rot is coming from this trunk.
I found your stink. Blah. Blah. Blah.
well, at least we know where it is, but rather so not have it around, you know?
Doxora takes her dagger and carefully starts cutting open the sheets to see what's inside.
You cut open the sheets, and you have to step back for a second. You have to tilt your head away because the stench, as you cut open the sheets, kind of wafts upwards, and you see a gaunt face of a thin woman with this dark black hair. You cut open a little bit more. You see a servant's outfit.
Yep, it's a corpse. Blah. Blah.
Is that our friend from downstairs?
I
You
don't know, she's wearing servant's clothing. Does she look similar to?
you can inspect the body and see if you can recognize her. Roll investigation if you're going to look over the body and kind of
6.
a 6. It's hard to tell. You can't really make out the features very well. It could be. It does have the servant's outfit on, but
May I
you
double check?
can't make the connection.
Yep, but feel free to. Doxora moves out of the room to get some more air. Oop.
Okay,
Right through the
Um,
wall.
roll investigation.
Investigate, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Are you rehydrate?
8.
Hydration.
8.
Thank you, Ario.
Ocho.
Gotta make sure I drink. Gotta stay moist.
Oh.
What did you roll?
Ocho. Ocho. 8.
You rolled 8. It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard to make out. You can't really tell for sure. The body is just so old and decrepit that
Stanky.
it's hard to make the connection whether or not it was actually her.
Well, I can't tell either.
You kind of you do notice that there is a lot of dark stains on this servant's outfit, though, right around the middle area, just below the just on the torso.
Do these look like bloodstains? I can't. She looks like she's been attacked, or
Uh,
what would happen, do you think?
you would have to kind of open the dress and examine the body in order to see.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
you roll. You begin to open. You open. You tear a hole in it and look down at the desecrated corpse and roll a medicine check for me.
Four.
You're more of an expert in making wounds and not really diagnosing them, so you're not exactly sure what the cause of death was, but you do know that it probably wasn't natural. The stains do look like blood, but you're not sure exactly how.
Okay, looks like this one's been attacked.
Well, let's keep quickly clearing out the rest of the floor and then having a closer look at her.
Okie dokie.
Toxora looks out of this window, see if there's bricks.
You pull back the black curtain, and yes, there's bricks
it's
behind this
bricks.
window. You see
Well,
just
more
the white
bricks.
bricks, just a solid wall.
Is there a door where I am?
There's a door there, yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna try it?
Yep.
It's locked.
I found a locked door. You want to try that key?
Toxora moves over there, tries the key.
You try to fit the key into the lock. Seems to work.
This looks promising. You get to open it though.
Sounds like an adventure fun for me. Slowly gonna creep open the door.
You creak open the door. You see what seems to be some sort of children's bedroom. This room contains a bricked up window. Like this window is not, as soon as you look in and you see across from you, it's not bricked up like with the behind the pane like the other windows that you've seen. This window has been filled in. There is no glass here. It is entirely bricked up. It is flanked by two dusty wood-framed beds sized for children. Closer to the door is a toy chest with windmills painted on its sides and a dollhouse. That, you kind of glance towards the dollhouse. It looks strangely similar to the dreary edifice in which you stand. All these furnishings are draped in cobwebs, and lying in the middle of the floor are two small humanoid skeletons wearing tattered but familiar clothing. The smaller of the two skeletons cradles a stuffed doll that you also recognize. Their outfits look very similar to Rose and Thorn's.
Guys, I found the kids.
Dad, I assume.
That's a big 10-4 on that.
As I feared. What is up with this wall?
That is just a wall at the end of the hallway.
just a wall.
Just a wood paneled wall.
She wants to knock on it.
You roll investigation.
Oh God, that's not very good. What's my investigation plus 2? 11.
You give it a knock. Doesn't seem hollow. Seems solid. Same as the other wall you had already examined.
Back.
This goddamn wall.
Damn wall! Just gonna go investigate this wall as well by the birds.
But Botek will kneel down to the kids and do a prayer,
Okay.
hoping that their souls will find rest.
Okay. You do you kneel down and do a quick prayer over the bodies to your god. Roll investigation for me, Lily, as you try and investigate these other walls.
Well, that's a little bit better. 19.
19.
Yeah.
Okay. You're checking all these walls and going throughout this room and looking for inevitable secret doors that are somewhere, maybe, somehow, in random places in this house. You kind of knock against the wall, and it seems like it nothing really stands out to you as something that would be hiding anything per se, but you do look over this dollhouse and you notice it is a perfect replica of this house you're in right now.
Ooh. Okay, she is gonna get down in front of it and peer properly.
Okay,
She
roll
wants to
perception.
Roll perception?
Yep.
Oh, yes, thank you, dice rolls. My perception is +4, so 23.
Okay, 23. You examining this dollhouse. You see you kind of like you begin to open up, like you can open up the top of the roof of the house and peer inside, and you do see that where you were investigating before, in that little square, in the places that you had been looking for, the secret entrances, there is a spiral staircase that seems to go all the way down from the attic down to the bottom portion of this house. It's just a long spiral staircase at the very far end of this house.
I knew it didn't feel right. Guys, if
You
this
also see
is accurate,
just because you rolled so high, that there is another room that you had not seen before downstairs connected to the library. A room that you guys definitely didn't see before, didn't accidentally reveal that to you or anything like that.
yes, we definitely did not see that. At
Yes. But you do see it on this thing. And suddenly you hear behind you, "Hey, that's mine!" And you whip your head around. And Botak, you also hear this. To see apparating by the window of this room,
Okay.
Rose and Thorn standing there. Semi-translucent, still in the same outfits that you had seen them in before. She looks kind of angry and cross with you, and she's folding her arms. Just kind of standing there. "You're not supposed to play with other people's stuff."
Oh, of course. I do apologize. This is a very, very beautiful dollhouse you have. I was just looking it over. This house is very interesting in general. I didn't mean to disturb anything.
All of them.
That's okay. You just have to ask permission first.
Well, I apologize, and now you're here. It is very beautiful. May I have a closer look?
She looks to Thorn. Thorn looks up at her, and Thorn slowly nods his head. Fine.
Thank you. Is there anything you can tell us about, this doll's house, the house in general? I see there are a lot of strange areas and things here. So come on, what do you know?
She kind of rolls her eyes and moves forward and looks down at the dollhouse. This is our house. What do you want to know about it?
Well, it's just, and she points to the little spiral staircase. She's been trying to find this entire time. Well, I see this here, and I've noticed the layout of the house. It's very strange. There are other places we haven't been able to get to. Is there some sort of trick to navigating this house?
She kind of tilts her head to the side. That's Mommy and Daddy's secret stairs. I'm not allowed to go in there. We're not allowed to go in there, right, Thorn? He shakes his head.
Yeah, we're big.
They get mad if we ask them about it.
Oh, of course. But, I'm sure a smart girl like you, curious and inquisitive as you are, may have seen something or overheard something or, just had a little peek at some point.
Roll a persuasion check.
I kind of wanna. No, I shouldn't. Okay, no, I'm gonna risk it. Persuasion. 18.
18.
Oh, fuck.
She kind of thinks for a moment. Well, Mommy and Daddy, they have guests over sometimes. And I see them go to the secret stairwell. And then we don't see the guests over anymore.
Hmm.
You call that a laugh?
Okay. Well, thank you for the help.
Who are you?
Oh, who are we? We're just passing through.
Oh,
Have you been here this whole time?
we've been here for a long time.
You've not left the house?
No. But we get others like you. They come through the house. But we don't see them again.
She kind of looks to Botak, and with a little meaningful look that's like, well, it obviously wasn't them at all that we ran into, so what the fuck?
I think we found the source of our clawing, yelping.
She kind of
I'm good.
she lowers her head and tilts it towards you and kind of gives you a whisper. The house doesn't want you here.
It doesn't want us here. Does it want us to leave? Or does it just want us gone?
It never wants you to leave.
Of course it doesn't. Brooks. Thank you. Thank you. You've been so very helpful.
But don't touch my toys again.
I will not do my best not to. And I
Thurxora?
apologize for touching them without asking in the first place.
Thurxora leans into the door And it's like, hey kids, I may actually also have a short question for you.
Mhm.
Was there ever an incident where a monster came into this house?
She looks towards you, Thrixora. No, but we'd hear loud howls sometimes. Maybe it was a monster.
Okay, thank you, you too.
Rest well, both of you. We'll try not to disturb you any further.
Okay.
She kind of bows to them and backs out the room. Guys, we have a problem. I'm almost entirely certain that whatever it was that lured us in here is part of whatever is this house is.
Yes, I agree with that.
There is.
It's
She moves over. She kind of points in this direction and says, there is a staircase there.
I mean, it makes sense. There was an empty space on all the floors.
Exactly. Apparently, there is also another room downstairs connected to the library, so it might be worth checking out. But my instincts would tell me that there is most likely a basement with something nasty. The kids said they had guests over who would go into that staircase and never come out again. So, I
Or
would be
there's another exit.
Well, I mean, we can hope, but it would at least give us a way to try and descend without having to go through those guards.
Yeah, the staircase. Does it?
There is.
Did
go
Actually,
anyone
also
is
a
there
very
any
not
idea
heaven
to
door
check
over
that
here.
door? The
Thuxaver
staircase
swings it
looks like
open.
it goes all the way down. We still have to find a way in there, though.
Thrixora, you're gonna open the door to the
Yep.
west? Okay. You open the door, and it's not revealing area for some reason, so give me a second. Open. There we go. You open the door to what looks to be very similar to the other room that you had seen. It looks to be another spare attic bedroom. You see a writing desk along the wall immediately to the front of you and a rocking chair against the far wall.
These weren't in the other room.
Moving in farther, you see in the northern window box, next to some dark green curtains, a doll with a lacy yellow dress is smiling in the corner. Cobwebs drape it like a wedding veil. There's also a wardrobe in the western corner.
Thuxaura has a closer look at the desk to see if there's any papers on them.
You look at the desk, and it seems to actually roll investigation.
18.
18. You look through the desk, and you see all sorts of writing implements, an empty inkwell, old rotting pieces of parchment, but nothing really of note in terms of papers or anything like that. It seems to be empty.
Okay. And then I'm also gonna have a closer look at the doll. If it looks familiar or something.
You look at the doll. It doesn't look familiar to you at all. It doesn't look. It looks much better made than the one Thorn was carrying. Whereas his was a kind of a sack doll. This one is actually pretty well made. You can clearly see a well-designed face. This beautiful, what was once beautiful, lacy yellow dress, kind of just smiles at you, its arms by its side. But nothing stands out about it other than that.
I'm gonna grab the doll and put it into my backpack.
Okay. You grab the doll, you kind of peel it away from the cobwebs that are covering this doll and draping over it. You take it and put it in your backpack.
I would like to see if I can get this panel to be open, since we now know that there's a pathway there. See
Okay.
if I can find some way to open.
You inspect the panel of the wall paneling at the end of the hallway. Roll investigation.
Da, 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 da. Hey, that's a 14.
14.
Yep.
Okay. You knock on this wall and kind of examine it from this area. You don't really see anything here, unfortunately. You kind of get the same result that Lily did. Not much. You just kind of doom, doom, doom. It seems solid. And it doesn't seem like there was anything on the other side of it. It just feels like a solid when you hit it. Just like it's like there's nothing but brick behind it.
Weirdly not hollow. Solid. I wonder if there's some type of lever or something else on the wall anywhere nearby, that like a torch scorn or something like that just might be able to pull down, be a mechanism to open it. Maybe.
Okay. Which room are you looking in?
I want to go with this one.
Okay. I'll take your investigation roll you rolled before. 14. You begin looking around the walls for some sort of something that's out of place, something that doesn't seem to fit in here. And you do see some sort of indent in the wall in this room, in the northeastern corner. And you kind of press into it.
Hi guys, I think I found something. Push.
And the door begins to slide, or the wall itself. There's no door here. It just the wall begins to slide to the side with a loud grating noise. And you see behind it some sort of dusty, cobweb-filled, narrow corridor that spirals downwards in stairs, made entirely of stone.
I found our way down.
Oh, finally. Well, just be wary.
I'll go first.
Same formation as before?
That sounds good to me.
Like a Mario pipe and just go down.
Down we go.
All right, straight down. You guys begin to follow down this spiral staircase. This place is thick with cobwebs. You can't see very far in front of you. You find yourselves having to kind of peel them away as you walk down. Botak, you're kind of like trying to get them out of the way as you make your way down 10 feet, 20
Directly
feet.
behind me has to do it again.
Yeah, Lily's just burning everything that's at head height for the rest of us.
30 feet down. You are taking a
Guys.
lot of steps, and you feel like it starts to get colder. And
Guys, I think we're going underground.
earthen smell starts wafting up from below.
I think we're going to whatever this house actually is.
Oh,
Yep.
have we seen no like things that could be doors out?
Nope, it's just a spiral staircase all the way down.
Gosh.
Solid
No,
wall.
I haven't seen any doors or things that we use to open, so I'm guessing we gotta go down.
Just keep going.
Yep.
Unless you guys want to go back up there and go through the 4 suits of armor down there.
However
Nah.
curious I may be about that extra room off the library, I think I'd rather take my chances down here. If this is whatever the house is, if we can neutralize it somehow, it will be much easier to look around if we wish.
Alright,
True.
continuing down.
All right. You guys continue down for another about 20 feet. It is getting colder, and this scent of earth begins to get heavier and heavier as you descend the stairs. Finally, coming to the bottom.
Reminds me a little of home.
Kind of does. And we will bring you over to another place.
Oh, no.
And it's not revealing.
It's all black.
Yeah, it's very dark.
Yeah, hold on. I think I have to change something really quick. To let's turn off. I think I have to turn off dynamic lighting because Roll20 says hi.
Hi, roll 20.
There we go. Oh, come on. Oh, just work for me. Just do what I say, Roll20. Pretty please. Hold on. Let me see if I'll turn on the... Okay. Well, no, don't look away from that. You see nothing. I'm going to bring you back here as I try and figure this out. It's getting really bad. You saw absolutely nothing.
Quickly, chat, make a screenshot.
Roll 20, being scuffed. All right, there we go.
Well, oh, Waffles figured it out already.
Maybe?
I just need to do a
Well, this is where we were before.
what?
There we go. I figured it out. I had to go to hide areas, hide something so it would understand that I'm in this mode. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Forget anything else you saw. You definitely didn't see anything at all other than this.
I didn't see anything.
No, we just need to find our tokens again.
Yo. I will be bringing your tokens over. For now, reaching the bottom of the stairs, a damp, earthy smell really begins to hit your nose. Dirt and rock make up the floors and walls of the narrow tunnel that stretches before you a few feet before it branches to the east and west. There is no light down here, save for your own. And echoing through this chamber, you hear a faint chanting noise. it's impossibly hard to make out. Just kind of a this chanting that you can't quite understand from where you're at. And it seems to bounce off the walls and echo through all of the chambers here. And we're gonna stop there for today, because it's we're about 3 hours in, and yeah, we're gonna end it right here for this day. You guys hit level 2 as you've reached the basement area of the house.
Victory!
Yay! Now I want to do this.
Does that mean we get everything back as well? When we
No.
level?
You don't get your hit points back. You just get more. You just add on the new level hit
Or
points
whatever
to.
we get for leveling.
Right.
Alrighty.
Now I just need to find out where D&D Beyond does the level ups.
You go to the builder, and you click that the hammer and anvil in the top right corner, and you should just be able to make yourself go to level 2.
Level 2.
You guys did it. You survived the armor. You got to the basement of the house.
Yeah.
I was hoping to God none of you would die to the armor, because that would have been disappointing to to die already.
I'm just like, this is how lightning works. I'm like, at its advantage, I'm like, yeah, I gotta risk it, because we're all just missing.
Yeah. You guys got it. It worked. It worked. Yeah, I didn't know it got. I forgot that Shocking Grasp does have advantage on things
Yeah,
with armor.
advantage on anyone who's wearing metal armor.
Yeah.
So... I'm glad I took it now. I don't always take it as a cantrip. I'm glad I did.
Right. It definitely came in handy, especially with that able to run away thing that you had. The reaction, taking away its reaction. is
Their
very helpful.
reaction, so I'm just like, hi, zap.
Poor
I'm
Thurksora
behind now.
was just on watching duty. Just like, you guys got this. You can do it. You
Yeah.
can beat up that
I was
armor.
like, I could now quickly burn through all of my spell slots for some other useless stuff, or I hold
man.
on to them for later.
At least if we get into fights down here, getting level 2, I have sorcery points, but no meta magic. But I can make a first level spell slot with 2 sorcery points, so
Yeah.
we've got an extra spell slot in the bag.
I was hoping you guys would get to the dungeon before we ended, and it was almost exactly the time I was hoping for. So perfect. That worked out great.
I'm like the whole way through. I'm like, I'm determined to find out what this is.
These damn hidden doors! I know there's something there. I know there is. Little Blue says, "Huzzah! I can't wait for more Smash." Sloth says, "Congrats, travelers! Yeah." Oh man, they did it, guys! Give them a round of applause. Clap, 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 clap. Oh man, I was having a blast watching you guys get frustrated at the secret doors. Ah, it was the best.
Hey, I can learn another spell. Yeah,
Woo!
Too. And I get another spell slot as well.
me too.
I have a fighting style, spell casting, and I now have my smites.
Yes. Oh, and then you guys have the
Cool.
basement.
I can't wait to
Whoa.
smite.
What's in the basement?
An entire storehouse full of chocolate milk and waffles.
And delicious waffles. Yeah, there's a giant pile of waffles waiting for you in the basement. You can smell it. Okay. Well, let's find somebody to raid then. Give somebody some love. Thank you everybody for hanging out and watching on everybody's streams. I really hope you enjoyed the little haunted house experience we've got going on here. I really love playing this module, so it's one of my favorites. So I hope you guys are having as much fun as I am, because I am having a blast. Is it smashing possess breakfast people? That's what it is. That's what's in the basement. Possess breakfast people. You found it out. Let's. You guys have anybody you want to raid? Chachi or Deadly?
What's it called?
This Waffles for Chumps person is online. He's pretty
Oh, this cool waffles for chumps guy. Heck yeah. We could raid somebody else doing D&D. I might do that.
Let's see, who's doing D&D?
We got this guy, The Tides of Death, episode 8 by Potato MC Whiskey.
Potato MC.
See, is there anybody doing like a new? No, nobody looks like they're doing a new. Yeah, well, let's. Yeah, I'm gonna raid this Potato MC Whiskey person.
Sounds good to
Give
me.
them some love.
Hey,
Some more D&D stories. All right, guys. Potato MC Whiskey. All right, guys. Give them some love. We will be continuing this next Tuesday. Thank you, Tama. Thank you, Deadly. Thank you, Chachi. Thank you, Arya. For doing all this and playing with me. It's super fun. Yes, you're welcome. It's I'm having a blast. So, okay, bye bye everybody. I will see you next
Bye-bye.
Tuesday.
I'm ready to raid when you are.
Already rated.
Okay.
go on then. Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow. I'll be an hour late. Bye bye. Love you.